Hey, brother, would you mind answering me a question? What is a Chicano? All right, appreciate you. Hey, brother, would you mind answering me a question? I'm making a documentary.
All
What is a Chicano?
right. Chicano, I have no idea.
I appreciate you. What is a Chicano?
Investigate?
All right, thank you. What is a Chicano? What is a Chicano?
No, I don't know Spanish before that.
A boy? Okay, thank you. What is a Chicano?
I don't know, man.
What is a Chicano?
Chicano? A white guy?
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
So,
What is a Chicano? You don't know? Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Hey, bro, I'm making a documentary. Would you mind answering me a question?
yeah, sure.
What is a Chicano?
I don't know.
Thanks, man. What is a Chicano?
What is a Chicano? I've never heard of the word.
All right, thanks, bro. What is a Chicano?
Chicano? I don't know. I've heard that term, but I'm not sure exactly what it
You've heard of it, but you don't know?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
So we went around campus and we approached individuals that were either not Hispanic or Latino, and we asked them to define Chicano or tell me what a Chicano was. And in doing so, we found that most people, actually all the people we asked, either did not have a clear understanding of a Chicano or had never even heard of the word.
Have you ever felt discriminated as a minority?
Yeah. Sometimes. Just, they don't expect me to be very helpful. Sometimes they talk down to you sometimes. It's not even, just, I guess for targeting white people. I think it's just white people. It's like different people, even from your own, people. Like,
Okay.
They expect you, like, why are you talking like that?
Yeah, can you give me like a personal experience or an example?
Again, when we had a family reunion,
Okay.
I came and just started talking to people, and they looked at me like, "Oh, you're a sellout," and why? I'm speaking properly. Well, yeah.
It's one thing to have a drunk idiot at a bar calling you names or whatever, but it's another thing when, you know, 3 or 4 out of 5 times that I get pulled over, I get asked to step out of the vehicle and the vehicle gets served.
I know I've been calling wiener before and went back.
I mean, I was definitely discriminated against because they were like, oh, la gringa quiere yogurt, you know? And it was like, no, like I speak Spanish like you do, you know, I go through the same tribulations that you do. It's just, I feel like Latinos need to accept the fact that we're all different colors and we come from different places and we're all fighting the same struggle.
Like my whole skin tone, it makes a difference. Like it really does.
Okay.
And I feel like, you know, if people were not to know me as like if I wouldn't have told you that I'm Mexican, you probably wouldn't even be able to know if I was or not.
It depends on skin color. In media, if you're light skinned Hispanic, you're portrayed positively. If you're dark skinned, you're more negative, probably with these. So I think it depends.
Like even within like minority cultures and especially like people of color, there's still discriminations like within. So you still get like especially in Spanish, there's like he's pretito, like they always talk about like someone being a little bit darker, and a lot of times just kind of joking around, but you have families that assume like a kid is more attractive and the kid's cuter and things like that when they're more American looking.
You're, I guess, not helping the stereotype, but you're fitting into your group of what people think you are.
It has pulled me back a little bit because of the things I want to do in life.
So it's kind of one of those things, like it just depends on where you're at, like in appearance, like stereotypes, you know?
I think a few of us embrace stereotypes. And I can't say completely yes, but it's some the family that I don't connect with, yeah, they embrace it way too much and stick down to it.
Do you see a certain stereotype coming from Brazilians?
Yeah. So I think people just kind of like know Brazil as like like women with with large assets, I guess you could say, and soccer and carnival, and then Rio de Janeiro. That's pretty much like all people know. I don't think there's enough in the media to really portray, the rest of the world and Spanish world included, of what they really are. But then again, how interested are Americans really in that? So.
It still portrays us Latinas as like this scheming, like saucy, it's ridiculous.
I think like pretty much everything outside the U.S. just kind of gets generalized and like stereotyped. I mean, people can't really think of, anywhere in Africa without it just thinking it's a desert and people are jumping up and down with spears. And think of Spanish, people just think everything south of San Antonio is just sombreros and tacos
But I really haven't seen like a strong Latino role in anything substantial,
So I think like it's what we see on TV ends up just being what sells, and generalizing and stereotyping is what sells. And even the Spanish comedians and things like that do really well. They do really well about joking about the stereotypes and the culture and things like that. So
I just feel like as Latinas, like we hold ourselves as like we're strong, but that strength doesn't come from education or from bettering themselves.
The closer you look to the dominant group, the more even within your own culture, you're kind of still at a higher status. So.
I don't like when people discriminate your own race based on like money wise, like that. It's just one of those things that is always gonna be a problem, in Mexico, just because like they always socialize themselves in a different crowd. Like, I'm a fresa, I don't deal with people that are lower underneath me. Like, if you don't have money, that's not my style,
As far as that goes, I think that whole dynamic's changing now, but it's a slow change. But when I look back at my friends that are still living in the Rio Grande Valley, most of them have children, and some of them are married, and they look at me as if I'm like living this sort of gypsy life, but I'm not. I'm going to school, I'm trying to graduate with my bachelor's and my master's. It's a sort of like stigma. They're like Latino women they're good, like they're good mothers, and they're good housekeepers, and it's we're really not expected to do much more than that.
If I'm Chicano, I guess I could be my skin color.
Okay. The way you look.
Yeah, because I don't speak any Spanish. I think my skin color says something about my history.
If I'm closing my tab out at a bar, I'm not going to say my name's Villarreal. They have to ask me 3 times, and I'm like, no, Villarreal, because I'm a proud Latina. That's what my mom raised me to be.
Well, I always tell people I'm not Hispanic because I don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
So I'm Latino, I'm from Latin America. I was born and raised in Brazil. I'm also, part of that, comes with a lot of mixed blood, so I do have some Portuguese in me, but for the most part, we're actually, very mixed with African and also native Brazilians.
I don't mind somebody calling me Latino, and I don't mind somebody calling me Hispanic. Either one is cool with me. For him, no. It's different. So that shows you, it shows you the divide, the division within our own culture that we have.
When I go to Brazil, I realize I'm a lot more American than I think I am. So kind of growing up here, like from 9 years on, I pretty much experienced kind of like, going into adulthood as an American. So, for a lot of things, even the way I think in English now, so definitely seem more American than Brazilian at this point.
Also, in regards to the film, communication accommodation theory comes into effect. When it comes to Hispanics, their culture tends to become diverged and converged into smaller groups, and this has created a very large diversity in Hispanic culture. Power distance was also a very key factor that caused Hispanics to separate and start converging and diverging due to social economic classes.
One thing that we can definitely agree on is that media plays a big role in social identity theory and the way that Hispanics are portrayed on television. Their stereotypes are exaggerated, and people from other culture get a misconception of what Hispanic really is and what Hispanic is